Joshua, it's time to make picks. Give
Let's
me
pick.
your 4 winners of these quarterfinal games.
All right, I'm gonna run it down. I'm picking Ohio State, and I think that they end up covering. And I know it might have opened up at 11 and a half or whatever, and it got down to 9.5 or 9 or whatever it's at
It
right
opened
now.
at 11.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
10.5, something like that. But to me, this Ohio State team, I think they can score enough. Like, and when I say enough, I think the number is 24. That secures a victory for them. If they can get higher than that, it is what it is. I don't know if Miami's scoring more than 10 points in this ball game, and so I feel like it's going to be a decently comfortable win. I'm giving the edge to Oregon over Texas Tech. I think this is going to be the most tightly contested, best game. That Oregon offensive line and what they can do if they can scheme up, have some time to hold the ball and throw it downfield, to me, is what becomes the difference in that ball game. Indiana, I'm never picking against ever again. Never picking against Indiana again. And the consistency, as you mentioned, is their superpower. It's their strength, and Alabama's just not that. I think they're going to be able to be who they've been all year long. And then give me Georgia. And this one, if it's not Ohio State, I think it's this one that doesn't have to be close. I think Georgia's a better football team. I haven't really trusted Ole Miss all year. And I don't know what that number is right now. It's 6.5, something like that. I think they're covering it.
Okay, well, I don't want to make all of the exact same picks, but
you have the same picks.
Well, so I started on Selection Sunday going very chalk in this round.
Mm-hmm.
Like and listen, I think if it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the semis, those are incredible semifinal games.
No doubt.
Because you got the new money in the Indiana Texas Tech matchup, and then you'd have old money in Georgia Ohio State
Right.
as the other semifinal. So let's stick with that. So, but I was going to say, over the last week and a half, I've come on Oregon, I think, because of what we were talking about earlier, where I don't think Texas Tech has been challenged by a team that has been this good. And then I don't trust their offense as much as I trust Oregon's defense, like the off-ball picks. But I'm going to stick with Texas Tech here just to be a little bit different because they are built to be able to win this game.
Yes.
It's going to come down to the margins. They have not been tested in the margins very often this year, but absolutely, they should be there. I'm with you. I think that will be the closest game. I think Georgia Ole Miss will be the most lopsided game of the 4 games. And then I stick with you on the rest. I think Ohio State and Indiana have been 2 of the best teams in the country all year. And I also think that it would kind of be reflective of the season and the way that we think. If out of the top Final 4, there's 2 Big Ten teams, because again, that league didn't have a ton of depth, but it had great teams at the top. That it's Georgia out of the SEC.
Yep.
After all the conversation about Texas, all the conversation about Ole Miss, that it's Georgia that's back there. And then, of course, Texas Tech and what they did to build this roster and figure out what they needed to look like to be able to win college football games in 2025. So anyway, that's what I'll go with for my picks. But I think regardless of what we get this weekend, the semis are going to be awesome. And this is one of the points that I just want to underscore. When you have bad first round games or not exciting or not close first round games, the hope is, and I know you want a smaller field and more people are they're coming up with your talking point this year, that there's too many teams, that we don't need to expand. But either way, if you're stuck at 12 and this is what the first round is going to look like, the hope is that you get better games as you go. This year, because you fix the seeding, these quarterfinal games all look really enticing. So here's hoping we get good ones, but they should be a lot better than last year.
The seeding fix needed to happen. I'm glad it did, because to your point, last year we were coming into this weekend, we were looking at some of the matchups oh my God, it's not
I went to the game that I thought was going to be a good one, the Rose Bowl, Ohio State, Oregon, because they had played so close in the regular season.
Yeah,
it was
not your fault though. That wasn't anybody's fault. Even if the seeding was right, Ohio State just hit a different level. So that's the outlier.
But also, that wouldn't have been the matchup either.
No, I mean you had Penn State and Boise, and no disrespect, but what? Why was that a second round matchup? Right. So now we've eliminated the idea of a team being overseeded compared to their ranking, and now we can get some more balanced matchups.
Yes, we can. I love how you had to say multiple times the other day, no offense, no offense.
Yeah, because these people have been very sensitive. Group of 5 is a protected class now, and you have to be very careful.
Not everyone is teeing off on them.
Yeah, but
you have
defender.
to.
if you don't want to be an a-hole, which I aspire not to be when I talk about this, because I do respect them, but I just disagree with some things. I have to make sure people know that I'm coming from a place where I'm not trying to be offensive.
Okay. Well, it's tough because you're a hater. You love bad
I
faith
am a hater.
arguments. So it's
I
like
know. But
trying
this
to
is
figure
not
out
bad
the right.
faith. This is me not hating, and it's not being bad faith. This is actually
Okay.
who I am in this
Okay.
moment.
Well, we love that. We love that for you.